I'm Katey Evans, co-founder of The Frozen Farmer. We are a farm creamery located in Bridgeville, Delaware.
Hi, Katie. I'm so glad to be able to talk with you today about yourself and the Frozen Farmer. So, can we start with just talking about how did you create the idea of the Frozen Farmer?
Absolutely. Well, The Frozen Farmer is rooted from our family farm, Evans Farms. We're a third generation fruit and vegetable operations established in 1943. And we started selling our fresh market crops, so our watermelon, strawberries, tomatoes, all of those good things, to grocery stores in the local area. And really, the more grocery customers we acquired, the more food we had going to waste because of cosmetic reasons, because grocery stores have very high cosmetic standards for produce. And so all of a sudden we were finding ourselves in, a situation where we were losing profits on this misfit fruit and wanted to figure out a solution and how to reduce our own food waste on farm. And so the Frozen Farmer was born.
And speaking of building this business, I wanted to know if you could tell us a little bit about if you had any challenges while being a woman entrepreneur in this business.
Um, I really haven't had, challenges per se as a female entrepreneur. If anything, I've had advantages over, non-female owned companies. We are WBENC certified, so that's the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. It's a national certificate that we have behind our company now, and it's something that has given us certain advantages at grocery chains corporately. They have diversity initiatives at many retail chains throughout the US. And so, they would review our items and consider that we are a diverse business. And in certain instances, that's given us slotting benefits that we've, gotten discounts in slotting on shelf for our products.
A lot of our viewers are Delaware women. So I want to know, do you have any advice for any of the viewers or any women across, wherever who are looking to start their own business? Do you have any advice for these women entrepreneurs?
I would say definitely get involved with any kind of women's organization or women's group. There's various groups throughout the Mid Atlantic, not just WBENC, although WBENC is a great one. And it's this awesome network of women, right, who are also entrepreneurs and going through, similar things as you. And so we're able to kind of learn from each other. There's workshops that the WBENC does throughout the year that have been very beneficial for us and in our product line. They did an awesome holiday showcase of different WBENC products that are women owned, and the Frozen Farmer was featured in their holiday gift guide in 2020 and 2021. So that was awesome. But yeah, I would say definitely, just get involved in the community of women entrepreneurs.
I wanted to say I watched the clip where the Frozen Farmer was featured on Shark Tank. We are such a big fan of that in our office. So I just wanted to ask you, like, if you could just, tell us anything about it, about, your deal, like what was it like and how was that opportunity? How is life after that?
Yeah. So for us, it was definitely the experience of a lifetime, and it'll forever be a part of who I am as, an entrepreneur and as a person, really, because it molded me in a lot of ways. It definitely taught me a new level of confidence, going into a room with, the panel of sharks and putting them on the same level as myself. And, really at the end of the day, we're all humans and we put our pants on the same way. And I just had to look at them as equals and somebody who would be interested in investing in my business. And really that's what I did. It definitely was a process to get there mentally. We actually auditioned for the show in New York City. We attended an open casting call. I stood in line at like 2 or 3 a.m. with 600 other hopeful entrepreneurs. I think something like 42 to 45,000 people try out for the show every year. So I knew it was a really long shot, but I just thought if I could get one of the casting producers to taste our flavors, we'd have a better chance than submitting a cold application.
Right.
And, they were not only compelled by our story and the fact that we are a family farm operation behind the brand, but, they really love the flavors of our sorbet and Frobert. and the casting director, he had tried a spoonful of our orange cream Frobert, and he literally put his spoon down on the desk and he's like, "That's all I need, thanks." And he dismissed me from the interview. And I thought, oh gosh, like that was it. Like I just prepared for, months for that moment, and for it to end so quickly and abruptly in the casting process, I thought, I either just blew it or we're through to the next round, one of the two. And he called me about a month later and he said, "Katey, your orange cream Frobert was one of the best things I've ever tasted in my entire life." He said, and that says a lot because I taste thousands and thousands of foods, every year from different entrepreneurs. And, you're through to the next round, and they really help you prepare for the show too. So I got that call in, I think it was June. And by August, we knew for sure that we were going to fly to California and film the show. And then from August to September, we worked intensively with a couple of producers, just practicing our pitch and really refining it, getting ourselves mentally prepared. I did a whole handful of things the year, our episode taped, to kind of like mentally prepare myself too. I rode really dangerous roller coasters that I probably would have never ever ridden before, and just tried to like face every single fear that I had personally, because I felt like I would be able to enter the tank with so much more confidence behind me if I was able to, kind of overcome all of these other fears that I had personally, and that was really liberating and amazing. I was in the tank for about an hour and a half. So you only see, like, I think the typical pitch is 8 minutes. We got 15 minutes of airtime because we were selected for the feature episode of season 11, which aired last year in 2020. And the whole production team flew here to our farm creamery in Delaware. And that was an experience because we're under this confidentiality contract.
Right.
And to have like a team of 12 people with a whole airplane full of equipment come to a small town and try to keep that a secret was, an experience in and of itself. But I mean, even after the process, I stepped off of the stage from filming my episode and stepped right into our very first business meeting with Lori Grenier's team. And it's just, it'll forever be a part of who I am going through that process. And the most amazing part about it all is you kind of gain this network of family in the other entrepreneurs that are also pitching their business. And so we got to meet a lot of the other entrepreneurs that aired on season 11 as well. And still to this day, keeping close contact with them. And it's amazing to, reconnect with them and see what's working in their business. And they all have their own things. And it's like, we've got this big group of cheerleaders all across the United States for each other now.
Just in case our viewers want to see it, you remind me it was season 11 and they can probably find it on YouTube.
Yeah, it was season 11, and it aired, I think, March 27th of 2020, which was interesting timing because it was the very first week of the national pandemic shutdown. So for us, we had this incredible opportunity, but it came at a time when no grocery retailer was really looking to take on any new products. And so, and at the same time, all of America was home for the first Friday night, and our episode got all kinds of record ratings because of that. But it wasn't until our episode re-aired in June of 2020 that we started getting calls from retailers once they kind of came to grips with the new normal of, supply chain issues that they were working through, and also the scare of the pandemic. Last year when it first hit, I think, there was just a lot of fear in everyone, and just even going outside, let alone going into a grocery store and thinking about buying new flavors or new products.
Right. Is there any specific one challenge that you could, off the top of your head, think of that the pandemic had with the frozen farmer?
I mean, supply chain issues overall. We're launching a new flavor in 2022, and, we're already running into some supply chain issues with one of our new flavors. Shipping and logistics has probably been the biggest that's affected our company this year. And going from, we were in 73 retail locations when I pitched on Shark Tank to now we're in more than 8,000 doors in every state across the US. And So to get our product from, our facility where it's made to, the retail door is in and of itself sometimes a really big logistical nightmare because either drivers don't arrive at all or trucks are unavailable or warehouse appointments are really slim right now because most warehouse locations are running on minimal operating hours and also minimal people to staff the warehouses. So it's frustrating for me to go into a local store and see them out of stock on our flavors that I know full and well we have plenty of inventory in our warehouse location. It's just a matter of getting it from our warehouse to the grocery chain's warehouse and then from there to the store. And so and sometimes things like that are out of our hands.
Right. No. You mentioned that you have this new flavor coming out. I personally like the double chocolate cherry Frobert, and I'd actually never had a Frobert before. So before this line, so I really enjoyed that. I wanted to know if you have a personal favorite flavor.
That's actually mine too. I love the double chocolate cherry. It's definitely our most indulgent flavor, in my opinion. But I have such a great story to tell on that flavor in specific. And it came from a customer that was shopping in a Kroger, and I don't know what state she wrote from, but she said that they were out of stock on her typical Haagen-Dazs pint, and she had bought some Haagen-Dazs chocolate variety for like 1 pint a week for every week for however long she had written in. It was like a 1,500 calorie pint. And she said that our double chocolate cherry was in stock and it was next to where her Haagen-Dazs, used to be. And
Right.
so she tried our double chocolate cherry on a whim and she's like, I'll never go back. I'll never buy anything else because I love your double chocolate cherry so much. And oh my gosh, it's only like 370 calories per pint. So I might actually end up saving some calories every week with this. And she was just so excited. And I love hearing stories like that. It's amazing for us as a business to be able to field stories from all across the US and customers who, want to write to us just because they love our flavors or have connected with our story in some way, shape, or form. And, we read every single last email. And sometimes that's, pretty overwhelming in and of itself too. Especially when our Shark Tank episode re-airs. We had a re-air a couple of weeks ago, and I walked into the office on Monday morning. There were like 8,000 emails in my inbox. So, thankfully, I have a team to help me kind of filter through them, but they always let me read those really great ones.
What's next for the Frozen Farmer?
We have a lot of exciting things coming up for the Frozen Farmer, getting into new retail locations across the US, expanding our flavor line in the locations that we're in now. We have a whole line of new flavors launching in 2022 that we're really excited about. Yeah, we've got a lot of exciting things coming in 2022. And personally, my husband and I are welcoming a new baby in 2022. So it'll be a big year.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is really awesome. I loved hearing that little bit, and I almost sort I loved hearing about the business too, but hearing about that baby, that's so awesome. Congratulations to you both. And I just want to make sure our viewers can check up on any of the channels that you have. So if you just want to tell them where they can find you, social media handles, website, anything like that.
Yep. They can find us on Facebook. Our Facebook handle is just /the Frozen Farmer. Same thing with Instagram at the Frozen Farmer. And we do have a TikTok. It's awesome to see the TikTok videos that are made about our flavors. In fact, one of my favorite TikToks was there was a girl that was eating the blueberry strudel Frobert, and she was actually chewing it. And people were just losing their minds over how can you chew ice cream? And she's like, it's just so good. And she just kept chomping and chewing. And they were like, are your teeth not sensitive or what? But it was hysterical. So we love all the TikToks that are made about our product line and all the reviews that we get organically. But yeah, and our website is just www.thefrozenfarmer.com. One of the important things to know about our product line is actually we've launched the only no sugar added sorbet in national retail. So that's what makes our sorbet so different than anything else in the national retail space. is it has zero sugar added. It's also zero fat, it's dairy free, it's gluten free, and it's only 70 calories per pint, which actually makes it one of the lowest calorie pints, if not the lowest calorie pint in the national retail space overall. So we've seen a lot of movement around our sorbet and a lot of buzz around the pint because of the healthy aspects of it. But for us, we didn't really look to launch the lowest calorie pint on the shelf or the only no sugar added sorbet. We just wanted to make a product that was as close to nature as possible. And we've done things really neatly with using um, you know instead of food colorings, we're using like red beet juice and things like that inside of the pint. So keeping that pint as close to nature as possible was like first and foremost for us. And then, of course, putting flavor forward and making sure that, these flavors not only were good for you, but also tasted incredible. And then where we landed on the calorie space and the no sugar added was just kind of like a happy mistake for the frozen farmer. And it's certainly been one that's driven a lot of sales to our sorbet line.
Right. No, that's awesome. And I love that you added that because I'm sure that's such a big part about, food these days, making sure that's completely organic, like as close to nature as possible, like you mentioned. So I'm glad you added that. And I love this idea that maybe women can take this point of, if they're a woman entrepreneur and trying to start a business, finding a space in which they can excel and be a little bit different and unique, or, the best in the line in that aspect is definitely important. So I love
Yeah,
that.
that's
And
critical. That's so critical, is just creating your own space, within whatever category your product is in. Because, for the frozen farmer, if we had just another ice cream in the national retail shelf, we wouldn't be able to compete with the bigger brands. But we've kind of created our own space, and we've looked for places where there's holes, on the shelf, and really filled those holes with, our flavors. For example, no one has anything like honeydew sorbet out there, or blueberry strudel frobert. So we've looked to create really innovative flavors where other brands aren't bringing those flavors to the table. And also by launching two completely new products to the category with the no sugar added sorbet and the frobert, there's just nothing like it on the shelf. Has allowed us really to leverage our space in the national retail shelf.